Let's get one thing straight. Tremors had absolutely no business being good. None. On paper, it sounds like something dreamed up after too many beers and a 3 a.m. marathon of bad Sci-Fi Channel reruns. Giant killer worms terrorize a tiny desert town called Perfection, Nevada, with Kevin Bacon as a handyman? Please. That's not a movie. That's a Mad Libs accident. The kind of B-list creature feature you'd expect to find in a $1 bargain bin between Attack of the Killer Tomatoes and Sharktopus vs. Octopus Man. And yet, somehow, against every law of cinema, Tremors turned out to be an absolute gem. A miracle of monster movie making that shouldn't have worked but did, because everyone involved actually gave a damn. The writing was clever, the pacing was airtight, the characters made sense, for once. And the monsters were equal parts terrifying and weirdly charming. What should have been a future flop became a cult classic. The rare B movie that grew up to become an A-plus good time. Because here's the secret. Tremors may be about giant man-eating worms, but it's really about craftsmanship, about what happens when filmmakers with limited resources decide to care anyway. The story follows Valentine Val McKee, played by Kevin Bacon, and his older partner, Earl Bassett, played by Fred Ward. They're two handymen scraping by in the middle of nowhere, fixing fences and toilets for a population so small it barely qualifies as a town. They live in Perfection, which, of course, is the kind of place where the irony of the name is the only thing that's ever funny. They're tired, broke, and over it. So they decide to finally leave town once and for all. But fate, as always, has a sense of humor, and it comes in the form of something slithering just beneath their feet. As they pack up and drive away, Val and Earl keep stumbling onto strange, grisly signs that something is very wrong. A man found dead at the top of an electrical tower, clutching his rifle. A farmer's flock ripped apart, a construction crew swallowed whole. By the time they realize what's happening, it's too late. The only road out of town has been blocked, the phone lines are dead, and something enormous is moving under the sand. And that's where Tremors shines. It doesn't rush to show its monster. It lets the tension build, one weird, eerie discovery at a time. When the first graboid, that's the official name for the underground worm, finally bursts out of the ground, it's a perfect holy hell moment. It's huge, it's grotesque, and it's actually kind of ingenious. This thing hunts by sound, feeling vibrations in the earth. Step wrong, talk too loud, even sneeze, and your lunch. It's a simple concept, but it's executed so well that it becomes brilliant. The movie gives us rules. Clear, consistent, believable rules. And when characters die, it's not because they were stupid. It's because the situation is impossible. Nobody wanders off for no reason. Nobody says, let's split up. Every person in this movie does the best they can with the information they have. And that's why the stakes actually work. Even the smallest details come back in clever ways. Early in the film, Val and Earl refuse to fix the general store's refrigerator because they're determined to quit town and leave. Later, that decision, that tiny, almost throwaway moment, ends up costing the store owner his life when the same fridge starts rattling and attracts a graboid right through the wall. It's poetic, ironic, and perfectly plotted. But what really sells the movie are the characters. Every single one of them feels alive, grounded, and strangely endearing. You've got Rhonda, the brainy and practical seismologist played by Finn Carter, who's smart without being annoying. You've got Miguel, played by Tony Gennaro, the quiet but resourceful local. And of course, there's Walter Chang, played by Victor Wong, the store owner who treats the end of the world like a new business opportunity, until, well, the fridge incident. And then there are the Gummers. Oh, the Gummers. Burt and Heather Gummer are the survivalist couple every monster movie wishes it had. Burt, played by Michael Gross, is a walking arsenal wrapped in paranoia. Heather, played by Reba McEntire, yes, that Reba McEntire, is his equally gun-savvy better half. When a graboid crashes into their underground bunker, they don't scream, they don't run. They just start unloading about 50 different firearms in rapid succession until the thing explodes like a piñata. It's cathartic, it's hilarious, and it's unforgettable. Despite the absurd premise, Tremors keeps its tone exactly where it should be. It's never too self-serious, but it never descends into pure camp either. It threads the needle. Funny without being dumb, scary without being cruel. The humor comes from the characters reacting like real people would. The scares come from the movie playing it straight. There's no winking at the camera, no aren't we clever energy, just genuine tension and well-earned laughs. And for a movie made on a modest budget, it looks shockingly good. The practical effects still hold up beautifully. You can feel those creatures moving underground. You can see the dirt tremble, the boards rattle, the fear register on every face. There's a tactile, handmade quality to it that's missing from the overproduced CGI nightmares Hollywood keeps serving us today. Because here's the truth. Hollywood used to know how to make movies like this. You start with a weird idea, sure, but then you fill it with people who care. You plan your story so that the setup actually pays off. You make the monsters scary because the characters feel real. Nowadays, studios take good ideas and smother them with bad scripts, endless reshoots, and visual effects that look like a video game cutscene. Tremors did the opposite. It took a ridiculous idea and made it work. And it still works. Decades later, it's just as watchable, just as funny, just as tense. You can show it to someone who's never seen it, and it plays perfectly. The jokes land, the scares hit, the pacing hums like a well-tuned engine. It's a rare film that feels timeless, not because it's flashy, but because it's solid. So yes, Tremors could have been another lazy monster flick destined for the discount bin. But instead, it became something special. A love letter to ingenuity, teamwork, and the kind of low-budget magic Hollywood doesn't make anymore. It's the ultimate underdog movie, about underdogs made by underdogs that went on to bury its critics and crawl straight into cult legend. And if you ever need a reminder that passion and good writing can still triumph over nonsense and money, just remember this. Kevin Bacon fought a giant desert worm and won. That's Tremors. The movie that should have been trash but turned out to be treasure. Proof that sometimes the best monsters aren't the ones underground, they're the ones Hollywood execs bury in bad scripts and endless reboots. But not this time. This one crawled out swinging, blew up a worm with a homemade bomb, and somehow became a masterpiece. So if you ever doubt that passion can beat budget, or that Kevin Bacon once saved the world with a jackhammer and pure attitude, go watch Tremors again. You'll laugh, you'll jump, you'll cheer, and you'll realize that perfection, Nevada might just be the most perfectly named town in movie history. And hey, if you liked this dive into desert madness, hit that follow, tap subscribe, or drop a review before the ground starts rumbling. Because out here, the only safe place is on solid storytelling.